Yo, Mark, do you want to talk about this OJ conspiracy real quick?
Dude, you have no idea.
Ooh.
You have no idea.
I think I've heard this thing, and it's fantastic.
There's a couple.
But what's the conspiracy? That
The one I heard is the son.
Guilty because
So there's a recent conspiracy.
Okay.
he's innocent.
This is-
Apparently, he's not dead.
fire.
Love it.
Okay, now I'm on board. now I'm on board.
I just made that one up. There's no.
Oh,
I
come
didn't.
on.
But that is
That
a good
one
one.
would
That
be
is a good one. Someone should
fire.
run with that. That apparently they've reopened his case because they have new DNA evidence and they knew they were going to get him.
Yeah.
So he faked his death and left the country.
Okay.
Conspiracy number 2. Apparently this one is true. He made all of his kids and all the visitors going to visit him in the last 2 weeks of his life sign NDAs. That was real and pretty good. Now the immediate reaction is like, why the fuck did they have to sign NDAs?
Oh, gee, I don't know, because he killed his wife, maybe? And got away with it?
Come on, he's been bragging about that forever. Like,
But then people were like, dude, if you sign an NDA, like, can you hold up an NDA
Yeah.
against a dead guy?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really make sense. The reason that I found was that he signed the NDA because they didn't want people to leak that he was dying.
that makes sense.
So people were basically like, hey, the cancer progressed. We
He
can't.
did come out with a TikTok saying he was fine.
Yeah.
And it really makes you wonder if he lied about this. I mean, you know, was there anything else he was lying
could he
about?
lie?
I don't know.
Yeah. OJ's good at keeping a secret.
Yeah, because even on Cam and Mace, he said like he was doing good. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I'm fighting it, and things are looking good. So.
Have you ever seen the clip of him? God, this girl actually used to work for that station now. You used to always listen to The Ticket. Her name is Kate Delaney. Have you ever seen the OJ Kate Delaney interview? Oh my God. They start taking calls for some reason at some point. And then the calls are so fucking funny. And it was hey, Juice. Do you remember when you played for the San Francisco 49ers? And OJ's like, yeah, I do. And he goes, oh, okay. Did you kill Bill Walsh? Every call is so funny, dude. I'm with my son here right now, and he wants to know what was more impressive to you, rushing for 2,000 yards or slitting 2 throats in one night? Like, it's so crazy, dude.
You know, like, he was going to be cast as the Terminator?
Get the
Have
fuck
you heard
outta
this?
here.
Arnold
No.
did an interview recently, and they were like, yeah, they were considering casting OJ Simpson as the Terminator, but the director, James Cameron, I think,
Yeah.
went against it because, quote, he didn't believe the public would believe he was a killing machine.
Oh my God. that's so
Unreal,
funny.
right? Like,
That's so funny.
Arnold said it in an interview and just like laughed to himself. I was like, that's fucking. Sometimes God gives you a freebie. You know what I mean? But
Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
so there's 2. The first one is kind of not as interesting, but I'll tell you, okay? Some people believe that Nicole Brown Simpson was murdered because of a mob debt. So
Right.
apparently, they brought this up during the actual trial. Ron Goldman was her gay best friend and a drug trafficker. Apparently, hitmen were hired by the Colombian cocaine dealers to whom Brown's friend had, and sometimes house guest Faye Resnick, another cocaine addict, owed money. Evidence was presented that a Colombian necktie, a variation where the executed are killed by a horizontal slash by the throat and the tongue is drawn through the wound, is often employed by Colombian drug dealers, which apparently is how they were found. The judge at the time barred the testimony, and apparently this guy, Ron Goldman, had 2 friends that died in almost the same exact way within that year. Pretty wild.
Wait, but it's confirmed that their bodies were found that way?
I don't think
Like-
any of this is confirmed.
No,
to be
yeah,
honest.
but how were the bodies
She was
found?
almost decapitated. Her head was almost off completely.
But then the tongue through,
That's what the part that's.
because if that,
Those are very different. Well, not very.
OJ's
Those are
not doing
different
that.
things.
Yo, honestly, OJ's
Say
innocent,
it,
bro.
Say it. Keep talking.
OJ's innocent.
Keep
Nah,
talking that shit. This is the
'cause
blackest you've ever been. Run
We
with it.
don't kill.
11 months.
We're not gonna do
That's
all
a good.
that.
That's a good point, though.
11 months before the murder,
all
Ron
that?
Goldman.
He's not black. He's OJ.
Yeah, that's true. Ron Goldman's friend, Brett Cantor, was killed with a knife in a manner identical to Ron and Nicole. From behind, across the throat, stabbed. This guy, a waiter, what's his name, Alex?
Michael Nig.
A waiter at
Good
the
call.
same
You
restaurant.
wanted to say that.
At the
Good
same
judgment.
restaurant where Goldman was also a waiter, was shot in the head and killed over a drug debt. So, allegedly, there was a bunch of people doing drugs all within the same restaurant, and this dude, Ron, and this girl, Nicole's house guest, were both targets because they had outstanding drug debts at the time. Pretty interesting. Now, the one that everyone got riled up on that went viral on TikTok was that OJ's son is the one that actually
This is the one I've heard.
killed
before.
Nicole Brown Simpson.
Interesting.
And then he took the heat for it because he wanted his son to get away with it.
So,
Correct?
Okay, why?
There's this dude named William Deere, made a whole documentary about this called OJ's Innocent. He's a private investigator, got inducted to the Hall of Fame for the police academy. So he's not like some chump, right? So he writes this whole...
Stop talking like
But he's so good at explaining. Isn't he so good at explaining things? though?
but stop talking like
He writes a book and then does a documentary. It's on YouTube, available right now, okay? The way that he lays this out is he says, look, OJ Simpson was not the best husband, but he was divorced from Nicole. That was what it was.
Oh, they were divorced?
Yeah.
At the time, yes.
That Chris Rock had a great bit in '95. He did this, Bring the Pain, I think, '95. It was like right after he said, "I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I understand." You haven't heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
That
but I
whole
didn't know
like
they-
it was he was paying like $40,000 a month for alimony or something like that in '93 or whatever. $4,000 a month for food, and he's like, "What the fuck is you eating?" $4,000. So like, yeah, that's
Oh, wow. I did
they were
not know
divorced. He
they
had crazy
were
alimony,
divorced.
but he was also,
thought
I think, wildly.
She got
abusive.
caught cheating with the pool guy.
Marcus Allen is who she apparently fucked, who's like another Hall of Fame running back, and they were homies.
So that night, she went to a restaurant. She went to go eat. They went to a recital for one of their kids, OJ and Nicole.
Okay.
She went to a restaurant with the kids alone and then went home, and then that was when she was murdered. Now, she was supposed to go to a different restaurant. The restaurant she was supposed to go to was, the sous chef was Jason Simpson. She basically was like, hey, Jason, we're going to come over. We're going to go to the restaurant. You're going to take care of us. You're going to have a table set up. They're calling back and forth for days leading up to it, being like, okay, we need 5 people at the restaurant, da-da-da. She ends up saying, night of, we can't go. She's like, it's too far, da-da-da. And I don't even know if she tells him. I just think they don't show up. Now, a couple things about Jason Simpson. Allegedly, he had no alibi for the night that the murder happened. He had a time card that he was punched out on that for the first time ever and since, it was handwritten in pen, his actual punch in and out. He had what was known as a rage disorder. So he had basically what they called intermittent rage. This was diagnosed from a physician. He was taking basically like an antipsychotic medication that was proven later to not actually be effective and was prescribed it and was actually off of it at the time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he also went to
like
Army
this.
Navy Academy, was trained in using weapons, specifically knives. He also always carried weapons on him, specifically knives. According to the coroner, he claims that the weapon that was used that was never found could have been similar to a culinary knife. Now, this is potentially what happened. That's brought up by this dude. All of the evidence about OJ that puts him at the scene of the crime is there was like droplets of blood. So there was like a drop of Nicole's blood on a sock. There was like a droplet of her blood in the car. There's like all these like little droplets of blood.
Yeah.
The person that killed this woman would have been covered in blood.
Yeah.
Like all over.
Yeah.
Crazy. Basically, the murder happened, they say, like 10:50, and then OJ was like in a limo going to the airport at like 11. So like it's an insanely quick turnaround. So what some people are suggesting is that he goes to the house to confront her and is pissed off and is like, hey, I was going to have everyone over for dinner. I was going to have you guys at my restaurant. I was going to look like the man.
Him as in OJ's son. Jason.
OJ's son,
Okay.
Jason. He was going to have them all at the restaurant. He was the sous chef. He also had like kind of a weird relationship with his dad at the time. And also note that this is not his mom.
Oh.
OJ and his son
OJ was
from
married to a black girl
a prior
before.
relationship. So this is like his stepmom. So allegedly, this is what some people suggest. He leaves early from his shift, right? Signs the time card out fallaciously, says it's later. Goes to the house, confronts her. In a fit of rage, they have an argument. He goes in, he has a rage disorder, goes into his car, grabs the knives that he always has with him, murders her. Ron Goldman pulls up. They have a battle back and forth. Ron Goldman has like scars and bruises all over his knuckles. They say, oh, there was some type of battle. OJ never had any scratches on him, never had any bruises. He had a full like scan from a physician.
He
They were
had
like,
cuts
yeah.
on his left hand, I thought.
They had one cut on his left hand, which is interesting. So,
You would know.
which the gloves had no lesions on.
I watched that whole documentary. This shit's fire.
Yeah.
So some people suggest that Jason went over there. They had a
This
dispute.
is
He stabs her in a fit of rage, kills her, kills Ron Goldman. The kids are sleeping upstairs. He never goes inside. He never touches the kids. He's then covered in blood. He goes back into his car, has a panic, drives back to the restaurant, calls his dad, and is like, Dad, I just did something terrible. I was in a rage. I don't know what happened. I'm scared.
Wait. He goes back to the restaurant because
Goes
he
back to
should
the
be
restaurant.
covered in blood. How can he go back to the restaurant?
Because
covered
he
in blood?
needed to, I think, get his phone or something like that. He needed to like use the car phone or something. or he needed to use the phone at the restaurant. I forget exactly the details.
Yeah,
Watch the doc.
that's where it's a little tricky.
Calls his dad and goes, "Hey, I need your help." His dad goes to the house, walks up, gets drops of blood on his socks, leaves a footprint of his shoe. That's, again, a piece of evidence used against OJ. Is like, holy shit, this is crazy. He leaves, gets legal support for his son that night before he ever got legal support for himself. His son was never...
Is this confirmed that he got the legal support? Oh,
His son was never a suspect. His son was never investigated. They asked him one time in a civil deposition about his alibi, and his alibi from the civil deposition, from the actual, like, when the police first talked to him, was completely different. And OJ, people are always looking at, like, all the court stuff. He seems like kind of like he's not taking it super seriously. He's kind of being silly about it. And some people are like, that's because he knew the whole time he was covering for his kid. So
this makes so much
maybe
sense.
OJ didn't do it.
I'm not inclined to not believe this.
And maybe OJ is the greatest father of all time.
But why is he
Holy
silly about
shit.
it? You're covering for your son's murder. That's
shit.
Crazy, right?
I'm giving Mark all the credit.
no, it's fire. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
this
He's
first
so
I'm
good.
hearing
Crazy.
about it.
He's so good at this.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break real quick because we got to talk about the world's largest smart wallet brand right here, this bad boy, Extra. That's ours. It's a flagrant extra that they made that they sold out of, but obviously that's the one we use. This is an innovative solution designed to improve everything about your wallet. First of all, it has 2 key tracker features. That means it's trackable worldwide. That means if you lose your wallet all the time like me, or if somebody steals it, you can track it. It's also voice activated, so if you lose your wallet in the house, just call that shit. It works with Google Home, it works with Alexa, it works with Siri, it works with everything. And most importantly, if you travel a lot, these wallets offer RFID protection. Basically means it protects you against identity theft, against skimming. Also right here, I didn't even get to this. This is the best part. You need your cards, you don't got to dig it. Look at that. Boom, everything pops up right there. See that? All the cards right there. So check out these wallets and more at shop.extra.com/flagrant. This is the flagrant wallet. This is the one. This one's not available anymore. This is the one you guys could get right there. You see that? Boom. Same features, everything. Shop.extra.com/flagrant and get up to 25% off site-wide with the code flagrant at shop.extra.com/flagrant. Love you guys. Let's get back to the show.
It makes all the sense.
They never looked in his
Because
they never looked in Jason's car.
I would act silly about some shit I know I didn't do. But,
Yeah, but if it was your
everybody thinks
son-
I do it.
But
Yeah.
if it's your son, don't you think you'd be freaking? That's the one thing that doesn't make
That's
sense.
why he
Because-
was freaked out.
yeah, you
he's
wanna-
driving the Bronco. He's driving away. He has a gun in the backseat of the car. He said he was going to kill himself. He had to call 3 different people.
Why would I kill myself if my son killed someone?
Because you think you're
killed
like,
And
your
I'm
ex-wife
covering
also.
for him.
Think
you
your
just
son-
lost your ex-wife and you're about to lose your son.
Yeah.
So you're like,
That makes it.
No,
Okay,
fine.
okay, hold on. Okay.
OJ
I
had
know
a gun.
Sorry.
your dad wouldn't do it for you, but
OJ had a gun. Why didn't he just shoot her himself?
Hey, your dad fled in the Bronco to get away from you. At least my dad stayed and beat up my mom sometimes. But here's where I'm just trying to this is all very believable, but I have to pick believable, Jesus, but I have to pick a few nits. You're upset because your ex-wife died? I'm gonna kill myself because my ex-wife, who I'm paying $500,000 a year in alimony to, died? I
person
can't
you
handle
love.
the stress.
The person you married
Didn't
in love.
die.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a person you married in love.
He beat the shit out of her
I don't think any
all
of
the
that
time, cheated on her all. You saw the documentary. He
Well,
treated her terribly.
I don't think any
He
of that
also
mattered.
loved her at
I
some
think
point.
it's you walk in to see 2 dead bodies,
And your son
and you know
killed
your
them.
son did it.
But
I don't
you
think- I
got
don't
to eat
think-
it for your son. So if I kill myself, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but if I'm thinking if I kill myself, then they're gonna eventually look at him. I have to just
You're thinking
bear the
logically.
weight.
No,
you
but-
didn't walk in on 2 dead bodies. Like,
And he knows the police are chasing him because they think he.
It's
did it.
my ex-wife and some Jew.
No, but look.
honestly.
No, but Akaash, look.
What are we talking about?
The police are chasing him. He thinks the public thinks he did it. So now I have to either die with them thinking that I did it,
That is
or
true.
I have to get caught and admit it was my son.
Let me point to you some more evidence.
Think about that. If I kill myself, the world thinks I did it. I just saved my son.
That is true.
Oh,
At the crime scene,
okay.
they found a knit cap that had what they believed were OJ's hairs. Now, OJ was not really known for wearing a knit cap. It also had dog hairs in it. Now, let me point you this photograph of Jason Simpson wearing the exact same knit cap with dog hairs and the same exact hairs that they would correlate with OJ Simpson.
God damn. Yo, show
is
me
all
a picture
interesting.
of Jason's hands. if he got Trump hands, did it, bro.
So apparently,
Glove don't fit.
Yeah.
Also, that was like one of the worst things they
Yeah,
could have
it's so
done.
stupid. It's so irrelevant.
They botched that whole.
Yeah, the prosecution had a slam dunk and just fucked it.
Yeah.
And the fact that that lady, Marsha Clark or whatever, made her way onto CNN as an expert of any kind is insane to me.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's some white female privilege shit. You just botched the easiest prosecution of all time.
Wait, but how'd she botch it?
That, having them put on the glove.
Yeah,
Why
they
does that
shouldn't have
matter?
had him put the gloves on.
How does that
He then
prove his
gets to
guilt?
like act it out and do whatever. They also fucked up the lead cop was like filmed and recorded just being an absolute racist for like 5 years beforehand. And they brought that up and they were like, well, the guy who's investigating this, whatever, is a racist.
But
Open
we're
racist.
all looking at, most people are looking at this like OJ was guilty.
Well,
Let's-
OJ did cover up the murder.
He
I
did
think.
cover up the murder, but I'm saying if he didn't commit the murder, those gloves could be Jason's gloves
Yeah, so why would you as a prosecutor, my job is to prove you're guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt.
because she actually believes OJ did it. That's why OJ is like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
I'll try
but
it on
why
because
give
I
him-
know my
but
son
also,
got some little
You
baby
don't give a
gloves.
guy the chance to put them on. Just say they're bloody and they were at the scene.
He also
and
was
they
going to wear
fit.
latex gloves to not contaminate. So he's wearing gloves underneath the gloves that he's wearing.
You're also letting him do the
And
thing
he
where
didn't
can't
take
put
his
it on.
arthritis medication or something.
Yeah.
Which is like a big, his hands are swollen because he
His
got
knees
arthritis.
were destroyed also. Keep that in mind. Like at the time that the murders were committed, like he had no knees. Like he could barely walk.
mean,
and Ron Goldman was a trained martial artist. So the guy had like black belts in like jujitsu or some shit. And had struggle marks all over his fingers. Jason was never investigated.
This just changed my entire life.
You knew he was innocent. That's why you were celebrated when he got
I
off.
really believe it.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. This
But
is,
we got to support ours.
Yeah.
But I'm like, now I actually believe it.
when will we find out if this is true? If it's true, do we ever find, this is what's also so frustrating about conspiracy theories. It's so much easier to just be like, OJ killed this person, these people, and that's it. I'm going to bed. That's what it is. This, we will never know the truth. And then that question just sits in your brain for the rest of your life. Like,
Yo, do mushrooms, dog.
Yeah, do more DMT.
Yeah.
DMT will clear you out, bro.
It's not going to bother me at all.
Yeah.
After that,
I also don't really
after
believe
this
it.
pod,
I also don't really believe it. I'm like, all right, it seems like a fun
do you
thing.
not
he
believe
believes
it?
it. I'm very inclined to believe it.
how
Why
can
don't
you be
believe
this
it?
compelling and not believe what the fuck you're saying?
Because I haven't looked at
He's
like
a little
that
bit
Al's never watched a
sociopathic.
documentary.
That's why he doesn't really love Miles as much as Miles loves him. He's a little sociopath.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can convince all of us of all this charm.
Yeah.
And then,
But I also haven't looked into. I haven't looked into like
yeah,
a
you're
counter.
good, dude. I bet you
argument for
get
any
your
of
dick
these.
sucked all the time.
He's tricking all these women.
I haven't looked into a counter argument for any of these. So I don't know. This is apparently all factual, but there might be more facts that then rebuke these facts.
I need
Well,
that.
Yeah, we need that.
I need that link.
We need that on
Yeah,
the
need
next
another day of
Nah,
research.
on the next pod. We need
Yeah.
No, honestly, because I can see it making sense. Because how can you joke about something that people think you did?
Like when he pops out with the knife in that interview. You seen
yeah,
it?
like I would make maybe I wouldn't make jokes about it because it's insensitive still to the family. But at the same time, it's like it's easier to joke about something you know you didn't do.
Yeah, but it's again, I'm covering for my. I would. This is where I. When you say that, I'm like, if I'm thinking my son is an actual double murderer, and he killed this woman, I'm not making jokes. This is insane to me.
Keep the heat on me so people don't look anyplace
But
else.
that's like the level of performance that would take is insane. To
He's
be that
also
good
like
of
an
actor.
actor. and
he already
also
got off.
He wasn't a good actor.
feels as crazy.
He wasn't
He might have
fucking
been the
Daniel Day.
greatest actor.
No, hold on. But he wasn't Daniel Day-Lewis. He was good for an athlete. He was funny in the Naked
But he was
Gun.
like-
He was
Like,
better
he was
than
charismatic.
Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. He
was like super
OJ
charismatic.
delivered the shit out of that.
Nah,
bro.
not
very
really, bro.
charismatic and also had like crazy CTE. So like, yeah, I don't see him being like insanely.
This is
He would have delivered that line better.
Another
So
wild
I'll
piece
be
of
back
evidence.
and be like, I'm not black. Like, come on, you would have killed that shit.
Another crazy thing about it, apparently Jason had 2 other violent threats, and then one was like actual assault with a knife prior to this. So he cut off an ex-girlfriend's hair with a knife in like a fit of rage. So him and his girl got into it. He like grabbed her hair and like cut it. And then threatened to kill another coworker with
Maybe
it.
he didn't like a haircut.
Okay, yeah. Big
She could have
leap.
came home with a
Cutting someone's hair and cutting someone's throat in half. Big leaps.
It is a big leap. But also OJ got off. So that's
Yeah.
also another leap.
It's not that big of a leap because OJ never committed a crime prior to that.
OJ beat the shit
Yeah,
out of
he
his
beat the
wife
shit out
all
of
the
his wife.
time.
Yeah, but now
And this is where he's
Yeah, he doesn't think that's a crime.
here's where he's also like
Puerto Rican.
And here's where he's here's where he's also like, again, sociopath type shit. Apparently cops would come over and then he would just charm the cops and they'd start being buddy and that's it. He just like beat the shit out of his wife and then cops would come and be like, hey, are you beating up your wife? And he'd be like, ah. And then make them like him.
That's why the I'm not black, I'm OJ line, because black people could never get away with that. But that's that white girl privilege where it's like
I get that.
they get pulled over for shit and they try.
But that's why I could also see you killing 2 people and being like, okay, let's crack some jokes about it.
A little wild. A little wild.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
I could see
The timeline
Both.
for the OJ stuff I need to look into because it's like he was on the phone with someone confirmed at like 10:10 or
10:10.
like 10:10.
Yeah.
And then the murders they say happened at like 10:40 and then he was getting picked up by like 11. So it's like he would have been covered in blood. And then he only had 2 drops. His car had like 1 drop in it. It's like all these like little drops of blood. So I think he was there, but I think he would have just been just like covered. Like I don't know how
They never found the clothes.
never found any of it.
or the knife.
Or a knife. Very suspicious.
I'm telling you, this makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. My son calls me, yo, Dad,
There's some things I don't fully add up. I can understand. I can kill my son. If I kill myself, I don't have to live with this. I don't have to lie for my son and everybody just think I did it. So done. I can see that. You got me on that. But then some of the stuff still like joking about it in court. It's like, yo, your son is a fucking double murderer, man. And you're covering for him. And this is hilarious somehow. There's no way I can see myself making jokes, convincing the court I'm guilty by making jokes. Like I would be, I think, acting more guilty than if I did it myself because in my mind, my son is a murderer.
Wait, okay. Now let me add another layer. So a lot of the jokes I think kind of happened after he got out of prison when they locked him up for stealing back his own memorabilia.
A lot of what jokes?
Like when he was mocking the shit, like the book, like, oh,
If I did it.
all that
I
shit
don't think that
happened.
was before. I think that was before he went to jail.
No, I think it was after he got out.
Can you look up when that? Because I remember them talking about that on SNL. And there's like he went to jail again in like 08.
A surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised.
What is
I
this?
think it was his idea of a joke.
Yeah, this shit
And this
is
is it.
fucking hilarious.
If I Did It came out in 07
And he went to jail.
When
And
did he go to jail?
for the first time.
Yeah, no, like
For the
'cause he
memorabilia.
went to jail for stealing his own memorabilia.
he was on trial in 08. I'm almost positive because I
I think he
remember.
went to jail in like 09.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I remember comics talking about it.
He was arrested in 2007.
And then he wrote the book at least a year before this, I'm assuming. Like he didn't write the book in 2007, came out in 2007.
He was
you know what I mean?
sentenced 2008.
Yeah.
When did the book come out?
It was announced in 06,
When did
and
the
then
book come out?
came out in June 07.
Oh, all right. He's a sick nigga. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it leaked in 07. It came out.
See,
in
I thought he was just like maybe upset because they threw the book at him for some stupid shit. Like 7 years of
Yeah.
stealing your fucking memorabilia.
That was
back.
bullshit.
Yeah.
That was bullshit. That was racist.
No, I wouldn't say
He
that
was black for that.
No, I wouldn't say that was racist. That was like they feel that he got
He got
off
away with
from
it.
murder.
Yeah, that's
so
that
it's
get
like
back.
I should have
We
listened.
got you.
I remember there was some black comics talking before he went down for that, and I was like, he's gonna get away with this. He got away with fucking murder, and they were like, that's why he's gonna go down for this.
Yeah.
They just knew the whole time. They were like, you're not black getting away with murder, and completely clean. They're gonna get something, and they got you, and you'll take your
This
time,
was the
and you'll be
tax
happy. That's all you got.
evasion shit, mobsters.
Yeah,
type stuff,
So I should have known right away, but that's a fire conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And it's worth all of us looking into. And if anybody knows, patrons, if you guys know why OJ might be a murderer, please refute all of these points.
Yes.
I will sleep easier at night.
Well, he's
Why?
not. He's not
He's
here.
dead.
He's not gonna get
Because
you.
I'll know the dead guy that murdered people and it's done. This potential double murderer is just roaming the streets with
Jason
knives.
don't care
There's
about
a lot of
you.
murderers
You
that are
ain't
just
white.
walking around.
Yeah.
You think that if that's why he murdered her?
Respect. Hero.
Yeah.
Hero.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that was the word I was gonna
We
use.
gotta live in luxury. Walking the streets, bro.
Son, you got away with murdering a white girl?
Come on.
God
bro.
bless, dude.
There's a lot of murderers
He
that are
just
pretty
got
normal.
back for Emmett Till. We gotta get our get back. Get our get back.
Yeah, murderers are pretty normal. I feel like.
Yeah.
I've talked to a handful of murderers. I'm like, kind of just regular guys.